Hey guys, okay, welcome to my kitchen today. We're gonna be back for day 2 of the 12 days of Strong Mamas. And today I wanna talk to you all about carbs. Are carbs bad? Are they evil? Are they something that you should avoid? I think right now we're all a little bit confused about carbs. We have this sense, and maybe because of personal experience, we have this sense that carbs are not good for us and that we should be avoiding carbs at all cost. So what's the deal? What's the truth? Will someone just please tell us what we should be doing with carbs? Or should we all just go hop on the keto wagon or go against all grain? Maybe there's a better way to go about it, okay? So let me give you a couple tips, things that you need to know about carbohydrates that are really gonna help you out and just kind of set the record straight, okay? So first of all, carbohydrates are your body's preferred source of energy. It is immediate. It gives you immediate energy to do what your body needs to do in the moment. The glucose that's in your bloodstream gives your body the ability to contract its muscles well, to have the energy to do what it needs to do, okay? So carbohydrates are your body's preferred method of getting the energy it needs. It can certainly get energy from protein and fat, but it's not a very efficient process. In fact, it takes a little bit of time, and sometimes it can be kind of hard on your system. So that's something important to know, that actually our bodies really do need carbohydrates. And especially if you're a very active person, someone who's working out a lot, especially a strong mama, I'm sure you are. You're someone that wants to be fit and healthy and active. You probably need some form of carbohydrates in your diet. So what we do need to know, the second thing, is that not all carbs are created equal, okay? So when someone like me is telling you like carbs are not bad, your body probably needs them in a certain degree, that doesn't mean that you can go hog wild with carbs though, okay? So not all carbs are created equal. There's a really big difference between certain types of carbs, okay? So there's a big difference between veggies. Veggies are a carb. There's a difference between a veggie versus a fruit versus quinoa. So just a good whole grain quinoa versus whole wheat bread versus a packaged or processed box of chips or crackers or cookies, okay? So there is a really broad spectrum here on the carb spectrum. This is a carb and this is a carb. Do you think these things are doing the same thing in your body? So when we're saying like, man, carbs make me feel crappy, I doubt this is making you feel crappy, but this might, right? So we need to understand that not all carbs are created equal. And usually these simpler, more processed forms of carbohydrates, the more starchier, grainy types of carbohydrates, those are usually the ones that we're thinking of that don't really sit well in our bodies, okay? So here's the thing that I need you to know. Produce especially. So fruits and vegetables, these things should be a mainstay. This isn't always need to have all day long, okay? So fruits and vegetables, your body is going to use fruits and vegetables as a good source of carbohydrates. You should be eating fruits and veggies with every single meal. And in fact, I make it really easy for you with a really easy to remember mantra: eat your pros, meaning that with every meal you have protein and you have fresh produce, okay? So fresh produce, this is fresh produce. If you focus on eating pros with every single meal, you're going to be eating fresh produce. And guess what? That's carbohydrates. But this is much different carbohydrates than this, right? Okay? So with every meal, you're eating produce, fresh produce. Now this other stuff, the more starchier types of carbohydrates, even if it's a grain, this is the stuff that we need to kind of decide personally. How do these things feel in my body? So I want you to start paying attention. When you have a whole grain or something that's kind of in this category here, when you're having these types of foods, eat them slowly and ask yourself, how does this make me feel? How do I feel as I'm eating it? How do I feel after I eat it? Maybe 10 minutes later, 30 minutes later. How do I feel for the remainder of the day after I'm eating these types of carbohydrates? Do I feel fine? Do I have more energy? Do I feel like I'm full? Do I feel happy? Do I feel like I'm moving in the right direction of my goals? Then great, let's keep them in, okay? Especially this type, the type that is a unprocessed whole grain type of carbohydrate. So not every body is the same either, okay? So now you just need to start paying attention on how your personal body reacts and responds to certain types of carbohydrates. Now there are certain types of carbohydrates that really should be limited to just kind of an every once in a while basis, and that's this kind, okay? These are the types of carbohydrates. They are very processed. They're refined carbohydrates. They usually have a lot of things added to them. Even if the box says 100% whole grain, do you think this 100% whole grain is the same as this 100% whole grain? Probably not, okay? So I want you to make sure that when it comes to processed, refined types of carbohydrates, if it comes out of a box or a package, these things you should be limiting, okay? So that kind of sets the record straight with carbohydrates and the role carbohydrates play in your daily diet, okay? Carbohydrates are not bad. They're your body's preferred source of energy. We just need to make sure that you're getting them from the right sources majority of the time, and that's going to be fruits and vegetables. So don't forget, you guys, eat your protein with every meal, produce with every meal, and when you're eating produce with every meal, it's going to ensure that you are getting good quality carbohydrates in your body, okay? So make sure you join me tomorrow where we're going to talk more about workout strategies during this 12 days of Christmas. And don't forget, you guys, make sure that you're joining this Strong Mamas coaching program right now. It is open for registration where you get tips like this all the time to make your life as a mom so much easier and health not so scary, okay? So thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.